Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again, and here's today's random commander. It's Lovisa Coldeyes. 3 and red for a legendary creature human. And yeah, I've checked, it is still only human. I have no idea what's happened with this Cold Snap card. But yeah, it's human, and that's all we've got. But each creature that's a Barbarian, a Warrior, or Berserker gets +2/+2 and has haste. Yeah, okay then. This is just a real tribal deck today. I couldn't resist it. This one came up as a random thing, and it's just like, yep, we've got to do this because I haven't done a real tribal deck for a while now. What I will say about this deck is if you want to make Lovisa even better, you just ignore a couple of the tribal types and you basically just go for warriors. Barbarians and Berserkers are there. There's not many of them, but warriors in red, there's more than enough. Me, I want a little bit of everything, so I've gone down a completely different route, and this is what I'm playing today. Hopefully you'll bear with me and hit the subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video at the end. So here we go. As usual, start with the lands. It's not very exciting. There's just lots and lots of red lands, lots and lots of mountains. Couple of things I will point out. I have got Nykthos in here because we're playing a monocolour deck, and it makes sense to me to have Nykthos in such decks. I've got a couple of search lands that basically go and get some mountains and gives a little bit of life. So we've got the ones from the Streets of New Capenna are all here, along with Terramorphic Expanse. The other thing I will point out is Valakut, the Molten Pinnacles here as a backup win condition if we need it. You don't need to play Sokin-Zan, Crucible of Defiance if you don't want to. I just put it in just to give us a couple of spirit creature tokens if we need blockers. Mines of Moria can be quite useful to get some treasure tokens though to ramp up, so bear that in mind. Gitter Enchantment becomes a warrior. Which is quite nice because if you've got the mana, or if you've got somewhere, you know, someone's playing some generic things coming untapped, but when you turn, there you go, when you turn the encampment into the warrior, it does benefit from this as well. So you get 4/3 with first strike. So yeah, don't rule it out. Hidden Volcano because I quite like Discover. That's here. And Dwarven Mine because, you know, you might as well get a dwarf creature token while we're at it. Cabaretti Courtyard, Evolving Wilds, and the big expensive to Arid Mesa and not so expensive Fabled Passage. You can drop Mesa if you need to and just put another mountain in. Artifacts, ramp-wise, Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Jeweled Lotus to help us get Lovisa out even quicker. We've got Soul Ring in here. We've got Fire Diamond, Mind Stone, Ruby Medallion, and Thought Vessel. I've also included Heraldric Banner to pump all our creatures up. Now, this is a different one. A lot of the ones I looked at basically say choose a creature type. Because I'm playing a mix of them, I'm just playing the banner. If you are going to go down to like pure Berserkers, pure Warriors, or pure Barbarian route, you can pay all the other ones that I usually put in tribal decks, but bear with me for today. And the last ramp card I'll point out, the other 2 ramp cards I'll point out is Nyx Lotus, because that's just a artifact version of our Shrine to Nyx, and Throne of Eldraine. Yeah, this is actually ridiculously good in this deck. Choose a colour, tap it, add 4 mana of the choosing colour, spend this mana only to cast monocoloured spells of that colour, and then 3 tap, draw 2 cards, spend any mana of the chosen colour to activate this ability. Yeah, that's pretty good in a mono deck, isn't it? Yeah, so that's definitely here. Anyway, back to the other things. We'll start at the beginning. The first thing we have is a Berserker, which is a vampire. It's 2/1. It's Volkenrath Gorger. Elixir of Immortality lets us get everything shuffled back into our library when we need to. And Expedition Map is purely here to go and find Valakut when we get to that point where we need Valakut. Bloodmark Mentor is basically a 3/3 with haste and first strike once we get Lovisa in play. Plus it gives all our other creatures first strikes. Everything we have is red. The only thing that really doesn't get a benefit from Lovisa is Dockside Extortionist. But yeah, it's a red deck. Dockside's going to be here. You can take it out if you don't want to play it. But yeah, sorry, I am. Kargan Intimidator turns everything into a coward. You can do one every turn. You can turn a creature into a coward every turn so they can't be blocked by warriors. Target creature becomes a coward, or the intimidator becomes a 4/2, or whatever you want to do. Cowards can't block warriors. It gets through a lot of things. I've lost where I am now. There I am. Right, okay. Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Another way is a Berserker dwarf who taps, gives you, when it becomes tapped, gives you a treasure. The Firebrand is another warrior. Attacks target creature defending player controls with power less than the Rada's Firebreakers can't block this turn, which when this becomes a 5/3, when you've got Lovisa in play, means there's a lot of creatures won't be able to block your stuff as you go through, so it's pretty good. Sardine Cliff Stomper is just a 0/4 Minotaur, but as long as it's your turn and you control 4 more mountains, it gets +X/+0, where X is the number of mountains you control. Ignore the fact that it comes down as a 2/6 with haste when you have Lovisa in play. The mountains are just a bonus. Smash some smithereens to blow up artifacts that are annoying us and deal 3 damage. Ash Zealot, whenever a player casts a spell from a graveyard, it deals 3 damage to that. Not going to happen that often, but the first strike and haste for 2 red mana. That's pretty good. And the Carrigan Dragon Lord. Level it up as soon as you can. Get it flying as soon as you can. Once you get it up to 8+ levels, yeah, you've got a 10/10 on your hands that's got fire breathing and trample. And in the air. Yep, that's going to become a target for a lot of removal spells, but it's very good if you can do it. Arnie Broken Brow is also here. Activate only this creature attack this turn only once each turn. You can change the base power to 1 plus the greatest power amongst other creatures you control until the end of the turn. So, you know, if you have this coming into play with the Cliff Stomper, you can have a couple of very big attackers. Arnie Metal Brow, the other version, whenever a creature attacks or a creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may pay 1 and a red and get a token copy of it. Or no, if you do, sorry, you may put a creature card with mana value less than the creature's mana value from your hand onto the battlefield, taps and attacking. Okay. Right. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, like that. I'll get the terminology right. Anyway, Chaos Warp. Take your chances. Combat Celebrant. Warrior that gives you extra attack steps. Devilish Valet. If you have lots of creatures come into play, this thing gets very big very quickly, and Trample and Haste makes it hard to deal with. Grimmel of the Glittering Caves is just a double striking thing that gets +1/+1 counters when legendary creatures enter the battlefield under your control, and when it deals combat damage to a player, you get a treasure token. Jessica's Will, because we're in a red deck. Lahil, the Blade Reforged, is a warrior. I sucked it up in the end and bought one because this card's just been so good for me, especially in the cube drafts I've been doing. I love playing this in cubed. Yeah, when it attacks, you exile top card of your library. You may play that card this turn, and whenever 1 or more cards are put into exile from your library and or your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on Lalil. Yeah, very good, very strong, very annoying for a lot of people. Plundering Barbarian, just going to give you a treasure chest. It's going to give you a treasure token or blow up an artifact. Professional Facebreaker, hopefully your creatures will deal a lot of combat damage and you'll get a lot of treasure tokens which you can sacrifice to play things off the top of your library. Nice little combo with Lalil, just so we're clear. Valakut Awakening, the 37th land in the deck, or let's go and get rid of this rubbish out of my hand and get some whole lot of new cards. Wheel of Fortune does it more efficiently. Balfour the Stout just pumps up our barbarian creatures as a dwarf as well. So, when it attacks, we get to do the whole treasure token generation if we have Magda in play. Hellbent Raider. Sorry, pardon me. First strike, haste. Discard a card at random. Hellbent Raider gains protection from white until the end of the turn. Upsets the angel players. I've talked about the banner. Frontier Warmonger, a new one coming in from the Commander Master set. Whenever 1 or more creatures attack one of your opponents or planeswalker they control, those creatures gain menace until the end of the turn. Quite like that. That sounds good. Yeah, nice. Jaxis, the Troublemaker, discard a card, get a token that's a copy of the creature, etc, etc, etc. You all know what it does. Paragon of the Fierce Defiance, another one of the creatures that basically looks at the colour of the creatures, and this one looks at the red things. And you can give one of your red creatures haste if you need to. Calamity Bearer, we've got a few giants coming up, so if a giant source you control would deal damage to a permanent player, it deals double that damage instead. We've got a few more giants appearing shortly. Chain Reaction to control the board a bit more. Jessica, Warrior Adept. ping, 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 or attack, whatever you want to do. Koth of the Hammer does the whole, let's hope we get this up to 5 loyalty and do the -5 to get the whole ping everyone. And if we can't, well, let's hope we just get enough red mana off it to enable us to cast even more stuff. The other version of Koth, the fire resistance, is a bit more tricky, and we need to make sure we get this one to work. The -7 is basically an upgraded Valakut, and we need that to happen a lot of the time if we want to win through this sort of thing. So you need to protect this version of Koth if you can. If not, use the -3 and remove the biggest blocker available to you. Krenko Mob Boss is a warrior. So as soon as you come into play with Lovisa in play, you are tapping this to make some goblins, and hopefully you're going to keep doing that and making more goblins each turn. Nahib, Dreadhorde Champion, Minotaur Warrior, Zombie. I'll ignore the zombie bit. You all know what this does. It's been around for a while from Plains, yeah, War of the Spark. Deals combat damage for player, discard a number of cards. If you do, draw that many cards and add that much red mana. So, yeah. Battle Ogre, Battle Driver, gives all our creatures +2/+2 and haste when they enter. Flame Rush Rider attacks, create a token that's a copy of another target creature that's attacking, of another target attacking creature that's tapped and attacking, and exile that token. So, you know, double up on some of your other stuff. Karlek, if you do it correctly, gives you an additional combat step. Okan, Eye of Chaos, just for a little bit of fun. At the beginning of combat on your turn, flip a coin until you lose, and then you just double the power and toughness of Okan. Yeah, no trample, nothing like that, but it's a little bit of fun. Zealous Conscripts grabs the biggest threat your opponents have got. For a turn, Fury Stoked Giant enters the battlefield. Other creatures you control basically gain the ability to shock everyone until the end of turn, so could give you a win condition with that. Casual Tyrant at the Cliffs. Whenever a creature an opponent controls attacks, if you're the defending player, you get a 3/3 red ogre creature token, unless that controller pays 3, and you'll be surprised how often people forget about the ability on here. You will end up with a lot of ogres. I've got a whole casual deck somewhere set up, and yeah, I ended up with a lot of ogres when I was playing it. Nahib the Eternal, afflict 3. Whenever it becomes blocked defending, player loses 3 life at the beginning of post-combat main phase. Add red for each 1 life your opponents have lost this turn, assuming it's still alive. Quakebringer stops your opponents gaining life and deals 2 damage to each opponent at the beginning of your upkeep. This ability only triggers if Quakebringer is on the battlefield, or if Quakebringer is in your graveyard and you control a giant. So, yeah, assuming we've still got some of the other giants on the battlefield, this will still trigger. Like this giant from Forgotten Realms. Trample is dealt damage, venture into a dungeon. Yeah. Anyway. Do I need to talk about Coat of Arms? No, probably not. Talking about Coat of Arms will probably be boring at this stage, but you'll know what it does. Ancient Copper Dragon, just to give us a little bit of more treasure generation. Yes, it's not anything else, but hey. Doomscar Titan, it comes into battlefield, gives everything +1 and haste. Camel Pit Fighter, tap it, lightning bolt something. Yep, or just attack for a 6/1 like you used to do, a ball lightning if you remember that far, or lightning ball if you remember that far back. Morag, Fury of Kioma, make sure you get your landfall triggers right. Drop your land in your second main phase if you really need to do anything, just to make sure you get the additional attack step. Yep. Okay, and Blasphemous Act at the end to control the board a little bit more. But that's it. The deck list is down below. You can go and pick it up and have a play around with it. I like playing tribal decks, so this one you'll undoubtedly see on stream at some stage soon. Hopefully you've hit the subscribe button that's down that way somewhere, I hope. Should be. I'm looking at the camera to make sure I'm pointing in the right direction. It should be down here. Please press it. 314 as I record this video today. You know, target for the end of 2024 is to hit 500, so if you can help out, that'd be great. Or come and follow me on Twitch. There's a link to my Twitch down below in the video description. Come and see me there, watch me play the decks I'm talking about, because everything I'm talking about is really going to be based on MTGO this year, so hey hum. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again very soon with another video. Take care. Bye.